Hi folks, welcome to your Gersnet immediate post-match reaction pod, coming to you in association with Forest Precision Engineering. My name's Alec Anderson and I'm talking to you after Rangers have contrived to lose the first Old Firm game of the season by 1-0. Celtic winning 1-0 at Ibrox in the first Old Firm game of the season. It was the 3rd of September, that day I'll always remember. That was the day that the jury didn't come in on Michael Beale, but a few of those jurors have started coming through that door back into the courtroom and they are not making eye contact with the accused. We've overthought that today. The manager has ruined that for us, I think. He's got it majorly wrong. It was a tactical car crash as far as I'm concerned, but what the hell would I know? I'm not a football manager. The problem is we're looking for Michael Beale to look like one to even simpletons like me. And he's failed to do it today in a major way, and I think we're now starting to give a bit of credence to that accusation that he hasn't won a big game yet as Rangers manager. I think the Servette game was massive, but he didn't win that with enough style for a lot of the support. And that 3-0 win against Celtic at Ibrox last season, which I'm determined to tell people, no, that really counted, because Celtic played a few reserves that day as well, and psychologically it was great. I was saying that, I was making that case for it, because I thought we're going to come and win this one today, and then it would look like he was putting a run of results together. That was bad. That was just awful. It was absolutely terrible. I'm standing at the back of the Copeland here, and there's people. I've been running the back of the Brimlin as well, but a wee sweepy guy turned up with his wee sweepy van that deafens everybody, and you can't do a post-match recording. The man's just trying to do his flipping job, He has to be here. I don't, but there's people at the back of the Brimlin looking, the tiles that are down there with everybody's names on them, the kind of Moscow Dynamo 3-2 tiles, the Barcelona 72 tiles, and I've got my name in the Willie Waddle tiles, the Willie Waddle wall, these tiles behind me here, and there's people phoning up their relatives and saying, whereas, where's my dad's tile, where's my grandpa's tile? No, maybe that's Celtic giving us 800 tickets back today. That's let a few people who don't normally come to Ibrox come along, and these things mean a hell of a lot to people. I know every football club means a lot to supporters, but see, at the end of the game, when you're booing Rangers players and saying some of the things to those Rangers players that I heard fellow supporters saying today, you need to think about how maybe one of those Rangers players will have their name on a wall here. There's a panel like this that people will start putting the name of their loved ones down because of their love for Rangers. I'm going full circle. I'm a total hypocritical football supporter as always, but I'm going full circle from my attitude on Wednesday night, which was, Rangers supporters having a go at other Rangers supporters for overreacting to losing 5-1. We're out of order. Today, I said things at the end of that game today that I'm really ashamed of. And if you were the guy that I said it to, you were just trying to make conversation. I'm really sorry, mate. I used you just innocently saying you shouldn't boo your own team to agree with you in a voluble and disgusting, childish way that was me really expressing my frustration with the performance and the result today. But don't boo the players, particularly today. If you're losing 4 or 5-0, that's fine. Maybe that's worth a boo. Certainly, give it a big boo at the end of a game like that to let the manager know that we're not happy. But if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say anything. You do not boo your own players, particularly when those players haven't just been playing against Celtic. They've been playing against the system. I think that they've been put out on the field and they've been deployed by Michael Beale in a way that's just set out to stymie everything that we've done positively in the past. Todd Cantwell, when we're poor, Todd Cantwell's the best player in the park. When we're good, Todd Cantwell's the best player in the park. We've let Callum McGregor today, who's been having a poor season from what I've been told, just have the freedom of Ibrox, really, just to get himself going and to get the rhythm going and to let Celtic themselves get going again and go into this international break and start to feel like the reigning champions again instead of the team who are seriously under pressure. Michael Beale, I said it on Friday and I have to stand by it. If we lose this game today, the bad news is that doesn't prove he's a bad manager, that doesn't prove that he has to go or anything like that, but we're in a situation, a culture now at Ibrox. We've got a trigger happy chairman and his consigliere James Bisgrove. They didn't hang about last season getting rid of people who weren't up to the mark. We haven't hung about getting rid of a manager who took us to a European final last season. That's the reason Michael Beale's got the job. So we're in a situation here where it's, we're looking back on this in a year's time or 8 months' time, given that I remember when we lost those 2 games, we got absolutely pounded in Eindhoven and then we lost at home to a crap Celtic team, and we thought, this is, it was the worst ever, and we ended up winning the league, ha ha ha. But I think we're also in a situation where I can see Livingston recording their first ever win at Ibrox, perhaps on penalties, and Michael Beale would go. He needs to start getting some kind of patina, some kind of gravitas on his managerial demeanour and most importantly his managerial thinking pretty quickly. He's going to look like a guy, as I've said from the moment he came in the door. Just this is an observation, just because I'm on podcasts all the time, so you've got to find things to talk about. That he often sounds like he's a man who's read about management in a book, or he's seen it on television and he's trying to impersonate it. And that's going to happen when he's not actually been a manager in his own right for a year yet. So that's going to happen. But for me, it starts on Friday with the press conference, and he's telling us that Borna Barisic is fit. And I mentioned this on Friday because we know him now. We know Beale does this now. I mentioned this on Friday to Brian on the preview pod that maybe the manager is lying to us again, just for the sake of sending somebody a dummy, and he's obviously trying to sell Celtic a dummy. I don't know, maybe something's happened. Sorry, I didn't see any of the build up obviously on television. I've really been on my phone today. I just kind of came straight to the game, 12 o'clock kick-off on a Sunday. Maybe something's happened and I'm misquoting things. I'm getting it wrong, but Dujon Sterling starts the game today and it looks a bit weird. It just looks like you've had the Rangers support doubting the kind of moral fibre of Borna Barisic for the last few days. But okay, if it works out, and it didn't. From what I'm hearing, it was Sterling. I mean, it was right in front of me, but I was just so switched off by this point when Celtic scored their goal. It looked Dujon Sterling, I'm hearing, has played Celtic on side at that one. It wouldn't surprise me. The way we conceded that goal was just comic cuts. It was an absolute joke, and our performance went right downhill, scarily downhill, from having that goal disallowed in the opening minutes to the point where Celtic going at half time 1-0 up because we've just let them comparatively walk the ball into the net. Still a good finish by Furuhashi, but absolutely awful ball just right over the top of us. Anyway, it seems to me there's a Smith song where Morrissey, in the days before he went completely mental, talks about how if you try to drop literary allusions into a conversation, if you try to sound all arty and intellectual, there will be somebody in that conversation inevitably who knows as much as you do, if not more. And today Brendan Rodgers was that guy who knew more than Michael Beale, and Michael Beale has got... Was Ryan Jack playing in the left wing? Does Ryan Jack sound too much like Ryan Kent? To Michael Beale, is he a bit deaf or something like that? Has he got them confused? Why are we put Ryan Jack at the bottom of that base, the base of that diamond, and you put Todd Cantwell at the top of it to stand all over McGregor? It was proven we did that the last time we played them here, and we beat them 3-0. A result that I've been trying to say counted for more than people were making out, because Celtic had a few injuries that day. We had a few injuries as well, though. We were playing a few reserve players, and we gave them a good 3-0 down. But what I really meant, now I realise, was we would see today that it counted, because obviously we're going to do them again today, and we haven't. We really haven't, because we've gone with a different system. And the manager has kind of circumvented, smothered, stymied our own creativity, our own ability to win a game. Celtic are going they're going to go 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, whatever it is Celtic were going, and it's like Michael Beale has. I'll definitely need to do something about that, even though I'm going 4-3-3, so I'm going to mess about with the basic system. No. Celtic's defence without Carter Vickers is, you could even see it in spells today, an absolute joke, and we've completely failed to take advantage of that. Celtic themselves quite happy to hit us on the break after they got the goal. They played their way back into the game after about 5 minutes. They're starting to get a grip at that point, and it was just... They've hit us on the break a few times in the second half. Start of the second half, 9 minutes to go, and then right in deep in injury time where they could quite easily have been scoring a second or a third goal to really put us to bed. Cyril Dessers, he's playing up front for us today. He's the man through the middle, and he's starting to become the boo boy for a lot of fans. And he's really got to get that half yard that we've been given the benefit of the doubt, because we know he's not Chris Daly said, he's just appeared right in front of me. He's looking quite slow. He's got to get that half yard back. He's got to get that pace, and because he's not chasing the ball down He's got the intelligence, you can see that there, but in a game like today where it is, especially in that opening spell, all about just getting on top of Celtic, not letting them breathe, he's over-intellectualising it. It's like, I'm not going to get that ball. He's doing the kind of European thing. There's no point in chasing a lost cause. There is in a day like today, when you've got 50,000 fans in the stadium, that we need to get going to get right on top of Celtic. We can't let them settle. We need to affect their concentration. We got that goal straight away. I am up the ball in the back of the net straight away. I'm up the other end. I'm up the Copeland end of the main stand, so I can't judge any offsides from up there, and VAR has ruled it out. Well, VAR is just the rules, VAR is just a way of seeing the rules, so I'm assuming it was offside. The second goal, the second time he had the ball in the back of the net, Roof did score today, so he's Mr. Reliable. I'm told that the foul it was blown up for, or it was pulled back for, it was spotted by VAR. It wasn't actually a foul, but I'm being told that that's the word on the street, but the street is Edmiston Drive, and Edmiston Drive is known for being a bit biased towards Rangers. I would, if a Rangers player took a hatchet to a Celtic player, or to any opposing player, I would think it was, there was nothing wrong with it, so I wasn't going to notice any foul today, but we'll need to see it on television to judge that one properly. The judgment on Michael Beale, though, today is pretty bad, and now we've got 2 weeks we're hoping for 2 weeks to let it fester for Celtic, a team who haven't scored a goal in the last 2 games. We're hoping it was going to kind of, throw them out of kilter, and it could still be, maybe it's part of the Michael Beale tactical master plan, where he's director of football and our manager. But hey, tell you what I'll do, I'll make it look like I'm playing the players out of position, so there's a fallout between our, a director of football and our manager, and folk will think, oh, they must have another director. He's totally overthinking things. I'm totally overthinking this as well. I've completely lost the plot. I completely lost the point I'm making. It's an awful day, an absolutely awful day, and we've now got 2 weeks to think about this. I was trying to say that Michael Beale might be thinking, if we lose this game today, then Celtic will think that Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, and really when he was first manager of Celtic, he was up against the worst Rangers team ever to take part in the top flight. No his fault, and they'll keep him in the job, and then we'll take advantage of that as the season goes on. I don't think so, but that's the only kind of hope we've got now, that Celtic still managed to somehow maintain their kind of downward curve under Rodgers. But when they come to Ibrox and they win 1-0, and they're the treble holders, or they're the league champions, none of the holders of the treble anymore, the League Cup, our only hope of getting things going again before Christmas, then this is just going to be the absolute perfect pick-me-up for them. And we're struggling. Keats and Yates is on our side, and Weird Lover Wild is on theirs. Sugar. The boys will be back. I think it's Craig and who's on tonight? Dougie and David. They'll be on the main pod tonight at 9:30, folks, and good luck to them trying to make sense of all this, but they'll certainly be more sensible, less reactive than I am. They're on 9:30, the main podcast. Please give it a watch. Rangers fans, please give it a watch. Stick by these guys for taking the time out on what is a really painful Sunday to discuss this one a little bit more. And all it means to say for me is, I think I've always really preferred international football. See you, folks.